Lite checking in, man. Listen, first video and today's video topic is going to be about 3 ways to help you stay motivated in the gym. I wanted to make this video just to kind of give you guys what I think are some of the main keys to keeping your consistency, keeping the progress going while you're going to the gym or even just getting started. But before we start, if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe and like and comment. It would help me out and I appreciate it. So let's get right to it. Alright, so the first tip is going to be picking realistic expectations for yourself and picking a realistic goal. So many times we want to shoot for the stars, and there's nothing wrong with that. But we have to understand, how do we make progress? You know, something doesn't just happen overnight. You have to allow it to, have a process, and you have to go through that process to see the benefits of it. So if you set a goal, of 20 pounds in 2 weeks, it's gonna be hard for you to come back to the gym once you don't reach that goal, right? But if you set a more realistic goal for yourself, if you say, okay, I'm gonna lose 5 pounds in 2 weeks, and you blow it out the water and you do 8 pounds in 2 weeks, now you can move the needle on your goals a little bit more, and now you're seeing progress. Now you're seeing that it's working. Now you're seeing, okay, I see why it's beneficial to go to the gym. I see why it's beneficial to stay consistent with this. So number one is definitely setting goals for yourself that you know you can reach. But this is not to say don't try and push yourself. Definitely try to push the goals, but like I said, especially if you're first starting, start small and build your way up. Second tip, find a plan and stick with it. So many times you see people get on a regimen or workout regimen or a plan or diet plan, and they do it for a week or so, they don't see results, and they just stop. That's completely counterintuitive of why you have a plan. You have to trust the process. If you're not trusting the process, you're not going to see the results, and you're going to think you're wasting your time. You're not going to see the value in this aspect of your life. And this goes for any aspect of your life. If you have a plan, you have to stick to the plan, and you have to trust the process. That's a part of figuring out really something about yourself. You learn about yourself in that process, and you learn that you can achieve things if you stick to a plan. If you have a plan to gain weight and you're not eating consistently, and then you don't gain weight, obviously you're not taking the steps necessary to reach your goal. For example, if I'm doing squats, a barbell squat, and I put a 45 on each side, and I do a set of 10, and the next time I do barbell squats and I put a 45 and I put a 10 pound on each side and I do 8, that's still progress. But if I change the workout, how am I going to measure if I'm getting stronger? How am I going to measure if this is really working for me? So I'm not saying you shouldn't change your plan at all, but you need to be on the plan long enough so you can see if it's effective for you or not. Also, when you stick to a plan, you're building that consistency, right? You're building that consistency. That consistency is building your confidence because you're seeing results, and you're gonna be able to compare yourself to yourself and see that I'm getting 1% better. I'm doing better for myself. This plan is working. Or in retrospect, you could say, maybe I need to switch some things up. Maybe what you're doing isn't enough, and you have to re-switch your plans. Maybe it's not hard enough. Maybe your workout regimen isn't hard enough. So you have to stick to a plan regardless if you want to change it or not, because you have to see if it's going to work or not. All right, tip number 3, never compare yourself to anybody else. This is the biggest way for you to get discouraged. This is the biggest way beginners decide that they don't want to come to the gym no more. This is the biggest way to set yourself up for failure. Everybody's at a different point in the gym. Some people are beginners, some people are professional bodybuilders, some people are on performance enhancing drugs, some people are not. So the most healthy thing, right? The gym is a healthy habit. The most healthy thing for you to do is to compare yourself to yourself. The most healthy thing for you to do is to compare yourself to yourself. If you're getting better, if you're sticking to the plan, right? If you're setting realistic expectations for yourself, you're gonna be able to look back and say, I've made progress. I've actually made progress for myself, and I'm proud of that. And you shouldn't compare yourself to someone else, because it's gonna rob you of that small victory. It's gonna rob you of that feeling of accomplishment, right? So the biggest thing is to find peace with yourself. Find peace, be okay with what progress you're making, because at the end of the day, if you stay consistent, you're only going to make more and more progress. So there's really no reason to compare yourself, because one day somebody might be further along than you, but it's your process, it's your journey, it's your goal. So you're going to be able to see it a lot clearer if you're not comparing it to everybody else's goals and expectations of themselves. You know what I mean? We live in a day of social media, so it's hard to just say, oh, you know, I don't want to look like the top 1% on Instagram. Everybody wants the abs, everybody wants to look the part. But you gotta understand, it's not a realistic expectation for everyone to look like that. Alright, so to wrap up the video, there's 3 things that you need to take away from this. Number 1 is to set realistic expectations for yourself and goals, so that way you can stay consistent and that way you can see progress. Number 2 is sticking to a plan. If you stick to a plan, you build that confidence, you build that consistency up, which means you're going to be more consistent going to the gym. You're going to consistently get more benefits, more results, which is going to keep you on track to your goals and the goals that we just set. And number 3, never compare yourself to anybody else, because this is your journey. You shouldn't allow other people to influence how you feel about yourself. Theodore Roosevelt once said, "Comparison is the thief of joy."